We think she probably died maybe 3 weeks to 3 months prior to the time she was recovered.
The unforgettable odor of a decomposing human body fills this laboratory at the Pima County Medical Examiner's office. These bones, bits of hair, and clothing are what's left of a young woman who was probably between the ages of 17 to 20. He uses her hip bones to determine age and gender. She apparently died of dehydration, attempting to cross some of the most rugged and inhospitable terrain in the Americas, where deaths of undocumented immigrants have been mounting. More than 1,600 people have died in the last 8 years, although an exact figure is hard to come by. Many are never identified because they carry no evidence of who they were or where they came from.
Most of these people who risk their life crossing the desert are poor. They haven't been to a dentist. They haven't been to a doctor. They don't have records the way a lot of Americans do.
So scores of Mexican families are left waiting for information on their missing sons and daughters, husbands and wives.
If the remains of this young woman cannot be identified, they'll be brought to this county cemetery and buried along with the bones of hundreds of other unidentified border crossers. Forensic experts say their work is made all the more difficult because they don't have access to databases of missing people from Mexico or the rest of Latin America.
This flag marks the spot where concerned Americans leave drinking water for the migrants coming through here. They say the U.S. government is to blame for many of the deaths. By sealing other parts of the border, Washington has forced migrants to attempt crossing the desert.
The government planned for people to die. It's not like they wanted necessarily people to die, but they knew that the strategies they were putting in place, the tactics they were using, were going to create a situation putting people in isolated, desolate areas where death would result. But they decided that those deaths would serve as a deterrent.
But that has not been the case. Increasing poverty and disparity of wealth in Mexico only give many more people reason to risk their lives for better paying jobs in the United States, whatever the dangers. Franc Contreras, Al Jazeera, Tucson, Arizona.